you ever accidentally caught someone naked? If so, what's the story? NSFW. A friend of mine texted me to come hang out and told me just to walk in when I got there. So I get there about 20 minutes later, and walked in on him jacking off. He said he was bored and forgot he texted me. Exactly a week later, he showed up at my house unannounced and walked in on me jerking off. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. The next week they jacked each other off. I've been caught naked. When I get too drunk I tend to abandon the party and sneak off to sleep. It was my 30th birthday party, and I have this particularly peer pressure Y friend who was there. It was around 1 AM, I was absolutely blitzed, and I thought that if I stayed up any longer things would end poorly for me, so I snuck off to bed. I often sleep naked. While lying in bed, still awake at this point, I hear my friend scream from downstairs, "Where did that motherfricker go?" And I know it's only a matter of time before he starts searching the house for me. In my drunk brain, I assumed that if he came upstairs, opened my bedroom door, and saw my bed empty, then that would be the end of the search of the room. So I scrambled into my closet and sat Indian style in my dirty laundry hamper. He comes upstairs with the entire rest of the party in tow, looks in my room, sees the bed empty, and immediately heads towards the closet. It had slats, so I could track his progress. Needless to say, they found me sitting there. This is hilarious. I think it's entirely reasonable for someone to wear their birthday suit to their own birthday party. I work as a handyman. I went to a house to install smoke detectors in bedrooms. I arrive and a woman lets me in, and I tell her that I will be entering all of the bedrooms, and I ask her if anyone else is home. She says no. The first bedroom that I enter has a naked dude asleep on his bed. On my way out, I inquire from the woman why she told me no one else was home. She apparently forgot about the sleeping naked dude. Nobody can forget about the naked sleeping dude. I was doing a Zoom meeting with a co-worker and his wife walked by in the background fully naked, twice. I don't think she realized her husband's camera was on or that she was in view. Are you by any chance a Brazilian and were in the news? Imagine seeing your own wife in your co-worker's background, twice. Please don't scare me. Merida, Mexico. Check in at front desk of hotel and give us the key to the room. Walk in on one of the maids working her side gig entertaining a client. Got a free upgrade to best room in the place. Did it come with a maid? I checked in at Disney and the room was occupied by a fully clothed couple and Disney gave me a $100 credit. Thinking back on it, I should have said I caught the couple in the act and my kid's scarred now and maybe I could have gotten some VIP's level stuff. But deep down, you're not a Karen. Was cleaning at work and knocked on the women's changing room to make sure I was allowed to enter. All was fine, so I walk in on a topless colleague and it took about a second and a half to realize what's just happened. I apologize and leave. She says it's okay. But it's not, so I leave and then when she eventually comes out she offers me a pastry. Still flustered, I declined. I really shouldn't have declined. Why did she have a pastry in the changing room? Why was she changing in the pastry room? There is no sex in the pastry room. I was 6. Walked in on my friend's dad pooping naked. He gasped like a woman and threw his basketball magazine in the air. I giggled and ran away. He threw his magazine like a fricking flare countermeasure LMAO. Look at the fricking magazine. I work in a predominantly male industry, 3 women to 50 men. We have men and women locker/shower rooms, but all of our uniforms are stored in the same room that happens to be located right outside the men's locker room. I walked in said room to grab my uniforms, and I happened to walk in right at the exact time that the maintenance men are getting ready to leave. The double doors swing wide open, and there it was. An unidentified co-worker, naked as the day he was born. The whitest backside I have ever seen. The moon would be jealous at how bright his ass shone. I only saw it for a second, but that image is burned in my brain forever. Months later I was telling this story to a co-worker friend. He asked me if I knew who it was, where the person was standing, etc. I never saw the naked man's face to properly identify him, but he figured it out. It was him. Damn, that movement of realization, damn. My friends and I were like 7 and playing tag, so I ended up chasing him into his mom's room and ended up seeing some nips that day. Nice. Nice. I was at my girlfriend's house. It was at night. We were sleeping on the first floor, while her parents were sleeping downstairs, near the kitchen. Thing is, I got a little thirsty, so I decide to go in the kitchen for water. While I'm entering the kitchen, it turns out that her mother, who was naked, had the same idea. We entered the kitchen in the same time, in front of each other. The two entries to the kitchen face each other, so we looked at each other and got the F***ck back to our rooms. It was not funny on the moment, but speaking of it with everyone the morning after, we had quite a laugh. Second story. When I was in high school, I was going to the gym. Everybody knew each other, and the showers were not closed, only between sexes. Guys showered with the other guys, etc. So once my sport is over, I decide to go take a shower, so I get naked, take my stuff and go to the shower room. Once entering, I don't really look around and I hear someone saying my name. It was one of my teacher from high school. It was pretty weird at first, but we talked like we had our clothes on. Thinking of it was also funny. Well, aren't you just the nude story fountain? Both are excellent. At this point I'm scared to go anywhere in the nude because I might run into op. This made me laugh really hard, dude. The family maid when I was 10 years old. She just came out of the shower and quickly shut the door when I saw her. Turns out that my dad was shagging her LMAO. The ending caught me off guard. Casual LMAO, as if nothing was going on LMAO. Yes, exactly. Welp, guess those are common things. When I was visiting a primary school and was talking to the principal in his office, I saw a beautiful naked woman parading in her house at the opposite side of the garden behind the school. Big windows, second floor, as was the principal's office. I told the principal, and he laughed. She always did that, and even the 12-year-old kids in the classroom next door got used to her and had stopped caring. He had checked with the police to see if they could do something about it, but as it was her own house they couldn't. Edit. The principal told me he didn't care for her naked body. If it would have been a man, he would be interested. If I were the principal, I'd say I checked with the police too. The police told me to set up this telescope and camera to collect evidence. They are building a case slowly but surely. I'm collecting plenty of hard evidence. Walked in on my stepsister naked. Didn't know she was in there and needed to shower before going out. There was no noise or anything because she turned off the water, and she was just stepping out of the shower as I opened the door. What did you do, step bro? Walked out. What was I supposed to do in this situation? True, it's not like she was stuck in the dryer or anything. Sad Pornhub noise. Oh boy, finally a place for this story. Many moons ago, I was a cop in the military. One of the guys I worked with, Graham, had a truck that he was gonna let me borrow in order to move some furniture to my new place. He gave me his address, let's call it 21 Illinois Street. I show up and knock on the door a lot, but there is no answer, and after he doesn't reply to my text I assume he's doing something inside, so I check the doorknob. It's unlocked. I go inside, and just as I shut the door behind me, I see the largest dog that has ever lived staring me down from the end of the hallway. Looks like a pit bull mixed with a rhinoceros. It charges me. I try fumbling with the doorknob, but it's freaked up and I can't figure it out in time before the dog pounces on me and luckily starts furiously licking me. Apparently this dog is as friendly as he is ginormous. I pet the dog as my adrenaline calms down and I prepare to curse out Graham for not letting me know in advance that he has a small mammoth as a pet. I call out to Graham a few times, looking around for him downstairs and in the backyard. I don't find him, so I walk up the staircase. Now, I know Graham is married, but I have never seen his wife. Graham is a great guy, but he is not what you'd call conventionally attractive. I don't know what I expected, but it certainly wasn't this absolutely gorgeous woman who walks out of the bathroom at that moment completely naked save for the towel wrapped around her hair. She sees me just a fraction of a second after I see her, screams, covers herself up with her hands. I got a full frontal view. I immediately cover my eyes and say, oh my god, I'm so freaking sorry. Then I turn and walk downstairs, kicking myself for getting into this situation. I can't help but think that Graham is some low-key prodigy / wunderkind or something though, because this woman is so far out of his league it's like a toddler from a daycare t-ball team playing for the Yankees. After a minute, she comes downstairs wearing the towel and asks me what I'm doing here. I tell her that I'm here to borrow Graham's truck, so I can move some furniture, to which she responds that she thinks I am in the wrong house. I pull out my phone and show her no, Graham texted me 21 Illinois Street and I saw the big 21 on the door. She informs me that we are on Oregon Street, Illinois is the next street over. The color drains from my face as I say, are you telling me that I just wandered into some random woman's house and saw her naked? To which she replied, yes you did, while giggling. I stammer out more apologies while she keeps laughing at me, and we banter a bit about how worthless her dog is at protecting the home. Turns out her doorknob is broken, so she can't lock it. Eventually I'm like, well, I guess I should go now. As I turn to leave I have a crazy thought. I turn back and say, you know what, this is a batshit crazy story. If it ends here, that's totally fine. But I kind of want to see if it goes anywhere, so if you wouldn't mind, I could write down my number for you and you can text or call me later if you want to go out sometime, to which she replied that she would like that and went to get a paper and pen. I figured that writing down my number and leaving wouldn't put more pressure on the situation since she could reach out to me if she wanted to, as opposed to asking for her number directly. I wrote it down and left, feeling a complex mixture of emotions but ultimately kind of obeyed it since I normally didn't have the stones to make a move like that. Then I went to Graham's real place to tell him the story, and he did not believe me until mid-conversation I got a text from her saying that I owe her a dinner now. From that moment on Graham thought I was some kind of demigod and told everyone who would listen that I was a female whisperer. I wish I could say that were true and this story would end with me proclaiming that she is my wife now, but I fumbled the follow-up and things with the woman fizzled after a couple dates. She was awesome, it was a real great white buffalo situation for me. Note to self, break into showering women's homes to find love. In all seriousness, though, it sounds like you played that one off really well. What luck. In my experience, it works 100% of the time. Results may vary. /technical if truth. Don't forget to break the doorknob in advance.